What's up? Vinny 10 at Vinny 10 Racing. It is Tuesday, day after Memorial Day. Thank God for all our fallen soldiers that sacrifice so much for us. We don't deserve it, that's for sure. And we throw away their efforts almost every day. So really just kudos to all the men and women who sacrifice themselves for this great country and for our freedom and for us idiots to go racing. But anyway, a couple of weeks ago, before I get on the Monday rant, I kind of changed it up a little bit because something happened. I got a phone call like on Thursday. This guy, Brian, fireman, super nice guy, was at another shop. The shop closed. After the shop closed, his car was in limbo, was at another location. So after months and months and months, he finally gets his car back. Nice car, supposedly a G35, very clean. Had the motor built, turbo kit, everything. Car was all put together. So, of course, the shop owner was looking to get a balance for the car, payment on the balance. And he said, listen, I have not even driven this car. I have not picked up the car. I'm not giving you any money. And you're out of business, so I don't know what's going on with you. So anyway, turns out he winds up getting the car, tows it back home, gets it home, gets in his garage, charges up the battery. Again, they paid for a fully built motor, long, short block, and, heads, valves, springs, all of that. And he goes to start the car, cranks over the car, and the car don't start. Battery charger, fuel, checks all the incidentals. He's not a retard, this kid. This kid, he's a little on the ball. He's been around cars, so his dad's a mechanic. So, they're trying to get the car started. The car don't want to start. So I get this call on Thursday, and he says, hey, you know what? I want to bring the car to you. And I said, listen, I am so overwhelmed busy that I don't even bring in street work anymore. If you want to do the job, you have to bring in the whole car because I want to see the whole car, the whole job go through my shop. If you're willing to do that, then you can bring in the motor. I'll tear it down right in front of you. I'll be done in about 35, 45 minutes, and we'll be able to see any of the big stuff that's wrong with it. Again, I can't emphasize enough to pick the right shop. Not only for the quality of the workmanship, but also the integrity of the people running that shop. So again, he paid for, valves, springs, retainers, stuff like that. Here's his heads. And as you can see, completely stock valves, stock port. Basically, they decked them, sandblasted them, and put them back together. And by the way, the stuff is filthy. I mean, everywhere you go. One of the big mistakes they made was that they powder coat covers. And that's fine to powder coat them, but you can't have these guys sandblast the back of the cover because you can never get this media material out of here. You got to make it so clean that they don't need to blast it. This is going to be just hellacious. I literally have to Scotch-Brite this all down to get this clean enough to where the media is not going to stick to it anymore. But it's throughout the motor. Wherever it's in the oiling system, it's throughout the motor. None of the bolts in the front cover were tight, and they stripped the crank bolt. I mean, I've got it basically straightened out so I could at least use it, but I'm going to have to retap it and probably put an insert. Let me just bring you guys over here for a second. So this is a cover that I powder coated. And before, I don't blame the powder coated people because if they get any kind of oil contaminated in their media, or if they get any type of oil contaminant when they're in their spray booth, it's just going to destroy the job and possibly the booth itself. It has to be cleaned. So I do the cleaning. So if you come here, this is not a new cover. That's a Vinny 10 clean cover. You could see you don't need to put any media on this. You don't need to clean it. So when they do it for me, they don't need to blast this side and they don't need to worry about getting the oil off. They just do the front of the cover. So huge difference on how you prep your stuff going to a powder coater. Anything internally, including valve covers, which are the worst, got to be super, super, super careful in making sure that none of that media gets into the car, into the engine and mixed in. And it always seems to do that. They got some manly rods in here, manly pistons, not a bad combination. Definitely not a bad combination. Definitely good quality stuff. It's a turbo tough rod, so it's you know, it's a shelf piston, but a turbo tough rod. But one of the things I wanted to bring you over is that there is a coolant upgrade for these, and it's about using a later model gasket. So this being a VQ35 DE and also Rev Up has the old style cooling system in it. The newer ones, the HR and the 37, utilize a different gasket. That gasket closes this hole off for the coolant passage. And it does that so it redirects the coolant back into the sleeve area and then up through the head and then out the back of the motor. The old style used to just come straight up into the head and right out the back of the motor, and it never allowed the coolant to quench the heat that's in the head, especially on a turbo car. So a lot of us, and I think Jim and I pretty much at the same time came up with, because we've seen the later model gasket, and we realized that what you have to do is that in this little area right here, and just point to it, this area right here, you have to cut this down about 1.25 inches so that it's here. So that way when you lay the gasket on it, it doesn't close off the port. Well, they never did that. So they used the later model gasket, but they didn't chop down the coolant area. So this thing would have ran 15, maybe 20 minutes. The first time it went into boost, this thing would just eat the head gaskets immediately. So again, not only the motor's filthy, not only the bolts loose, not only some cross-threaded, the contamination from the motor sitting, just the amount of media material that's everywhere. I mean, you could feel it. I mean, it's just everywhere. So you know this whole thing has to be disassembled. It has to be hot tanked. It has to be cleaned. And then you have to go through every single nook and cranny like this, like if it was a fucking Thomas's English muffin, and make sure that everything is clean. We'll be able to turn this around and get him saved. We'll be able to actually utilize everything here. So on the bottom, he's got stock valves on the heads. I would not recommend that for a turbo car, so we're going to have to upgrade those. But overall, as bad as it is, the greatest thing here is that they were so bad that they didn't put the timing right, which stopped this car from starting, which actually saved all of these parts. Because once this thing would have ran under load, under compression, it would have tore up everything. It would have tore up the rings. It would have tore up the skirt of the piston. It would have embedded itself into the bearings. It would have just scored the walls. The cam journals would have all been scored up. So believe it or not, in their incredible stupidity and inexperience, they stopped this thing. They didn't time it correctly, and therefore, thank God it didn't start. Again, watch who you're bringing your stuff to. Make sure they're competent. Make sure they're qualified. Make sure they're experienced. Make sure they have the tools, the technology, the manpower, the dyno. It's just so much that you have to make sure that a good shop has so that your stuff doesn't wind up here again. So that's my rant. It's kind of a rant of the other day about these cars in coffee shops, but you know, this is because I see this coming into my shop. Okay, phase 2. So we tried really, my first day at the shop, we tried really hard to get the car ready last week to go to Cecil County. And I think we would have been able to get it ready. But at the last minute, at the very last minute, we have a set of new coilovers from Feel. And Yarrick put them in, and Steve was going to adjust them. And the adjuster was way down, right at the bottom of the shock. And because we were rushing, and because we were trying to get it done, Steve takes the spanner wrench and goes like this. And when he does that, he breaks the reservoir line going to the reservoir. And I turned, I heard him say, "Oh shit," and I turned, and it was like somebody got shot because red fluid was coming out. And I knew it wasn't blood, and that's when I got mad. Because I knew nobody was hurt except for the poor shock, and that basically meant that we weren't going. But thank God that there was like a 70% chance of it raining, and to this moment I don't know if it got rained out. But now that there's no tracks ACO and no tracks at Englishtown, you know, to go from Long Island, New York, all the way to Cecil County on a chance that they may be 60 or 70% rain. I can't do that anymore. You know, it costs too much to travel down there. We got to close the shop. We got to bring the guys down. It's quite the expense. So unless I absolutely know we're going, you know, because the weather is good, we can't take that chance anymore. It's not like the old days where we could go over to Englishtown, you know, hey, is it raining in ACO? No, we'll go to ACO. You know, you're at ACO. Hey, it starts to rain. Is it raining in Englishtown? No, let's go to Englishtown. You know, let's jump over the bridge and just, you know, Wednesday night, go there and do a test. Those days are over. So we're never going to see those days back again either. So now you just have to be a lot more strategic and a lot more pinpoint in when you go to test and tune. We got some really, really exciting news with the car. Things turned out a lot better than I thought. You know, you realize, guys, I've gone 838 at 174 in this car, so it's definitely a 7-second mile per hour on this car, but it has the world's worst 60 foot. The best 60 I've gotten out of this car is a 137. Obviously, I mean, I get this thing go 1/10, you know, talk about racers and being degenerates. You know, I probably spent all kinds of money to try to get 1 or 2 tenths out of the 60. I don't know if I'm going to get it. We're going to test this weekend, Maple Grove. So there's going to be a street car shoot out there as well as a test and tune. We're going to bring the entire shop. We're going to do some videos. And I think we might be able to do something spectacular. I will let you know on Friday's video of what we found and why do we think we might be able to do something spectacular. So without a doubt, stay tuned for that. Look for that video next week, actually in 3 more days, right? Let's see what I got to say on Friday. I think I'm going to have something pretty good to say on Friday. Let's see what the guys are doing. What do we got here, Lucas? 370?
Yeah, we got a lot of things we did today.
What do we do on this car?
Pretty much all the exhaust gaskets.
Okay, all new exhaust gaskets.
New resonator.
Okay. What else?
Did all brakes.
Okay. Looks like you got brakes in the car.
Yeah, brake flush, clutch
Brake flush, clutch flush. Okay. What else?
New dipstick, because that's, you know, the hardest
Yeah.
thing we got out of the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. And believe it or not, it leaks the worst too. All right, so pretty much just a good maintenance car.
Yeah.
Get it up to speed. Listen, you guys that own performance cars, you guys that own sports cars, you better maintenance them. If you're not, did you see that ball joint from fucking last week? You get killed. You get killed. All right, well, I don't have to ask Joey what's going on with this car. So this car, you know what? I'm not even gonna say what I. I'm not even gonna say what I'm gonna say, but I'm not gonna say it. At very least, it may need a head gasket. It may need a whole lot more than that. It's a severely abused car. I mean, like next level abused car. It happens to be my sister's friend, so we're gonna look at it. It's a turbo car, obviously. We specialize in turbo cars. So, but this thing is severely trash. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Definitely needs help.
you know, so it needs a lot. So we're gonna pull this head off. We know for sure the head gasket's blown. I don't know if I have a cracked block. When I see something this abused, I'm like, before I even do anything, check to make sure that sleeve's not cracked. So that's what we're doing. All right, well, you guys have seen this car on the lift before. I've been talking about it. We are now up to the wiring part. We're doing the dump valve, bump box, trans brake. We also fixed the exhaust that was hitting. So now it doesn't hit anymore, okay? That's nice. And that's it. We're really close on this. I can't wait. I'm trying to actually get this car finished because I'd like to also take this car to Maple Grove next week. I think that's a possibility, a big one, but still nonetheless a possibility. He's doing a phenomenal job. Just keep him on it. Keep him calm. You all right, Monster?
Perfect.
All right. We also do this brace right here, which one day, the way we do this brace and the reason why we do it, I will disclose. But right now, we have this beautiful brace up in here. It really helps out with something that I'll disclose later on. I don't want to give away the secrets. I don't know. We've been after this car for a long time. I was going over the car, I fucking look at this car, and it's like sometimes you hand the car to fucking customers, and you don't even know what fucking goes through their fucking brain. It's like, he took the fucking sway bar fucking links out. It's like, why would you do that? I don't know why he did it. Obviously, we're gonna fucking put him back in, but you know, sometimes you kick these cars loose, you give them to the customer. They gotta fucking play with it. They gotta play with it. I don't know why they gotta play with it, but they gotta fucking play with it. In this case, he took the fucking rear end links on it. I'm glad I seen it. Because I get up on the fucking highway, this thing starts fucking walking around a little bit. You know, we might have a little bit of trouble with no sway fucking bar. So we'll obviously hook that up and we'll go. And again, I believe this is going to be I believe personally that it'll be the fastest G37 in the country. But it'll at least go 9s, and then we'll see what we can do from there. Obviously, this car's been on the dyno. You've seen this car. Steve, tell a viewing audience, what are you doing today?
I'm finishing up the traction control.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So we got the knob right
Come on, come around the other side. I want to see how this works myself. I love this shit. Go ahead.
So we have a Haltech rotary trim pot.
Okay.
Normally it has 12 positions, but we don't have that in the software.
Right.
It's universal. We have 8. So we have 8 different levels of traction control. One where it's what Kenny likes to call exhibition mode.
Okay.
No traction control.
No traction.
No nothing. Just do whatever you want to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay. So the higher number, the more traction control.
The more control, more timing and stuff. It'll pulls out. The more cut it has, and the lower the number, the less.
Cool.
Finishing up, patching it into the Rebel LS harness, and which they give us some nice inputs and outputs, extra inputs and outputs to use. And
Why does he have traction control and I don't? I don't have traction control in my car.
you only have 2,500. You need to step your game up.
What? Yikes. Good fucking this shit. Unbelievable. Anyway, no cars on the dyno today. It's early in the week. Again, we don't necessarily want to show you the whole 350Z race car because I kind of want to debut it to you guys next Friday for next Friday's video. But in the meantime, my guys keep working. We keep producing cars and we keep knocking them out.